Welcome to episode 2 of the Weekly Speak. I'm Lindsay, and I am highlighting this week's posts and thoughts that I have shared on my Facebook, Instagram, and actually this week I have not published any blog posts, but I have been active on Instagram and Facebook. So I just want to highlight some of those posts and then just talk a little bit more about them. So one of the first things that I posted this week was one of my cards that had something written on it that said, "Do you tell yourself you have to have certain things done before you can do something that pertains to your self-care?" The reason why I made that is because I know so many women who think they have to have all these different things done, like around the house or just on their list, before they can do anything for themselves. Now, obviously, we have to create parameters and we need to discipline ourselves because otherwise we won't get things done. But what happens is a lot of us actually start punishing ourselves and being really hard on ourselves and don't fully realize it. So it's really important to actually choose a time or, make yourself take breaks to refresh and recharge so that you're not feeling like you're ran ragged and then you start resenting everyone because you're exhausted. And that kind of goes along with one of my most recent posts, which started with, once upon a time, there was a woman who put everything else ahead of herself all the time. And that post was a little bit longer. And I basically just went into the fact that, again, it's just part of this cycle that I especially know mothers get into, where we are just, we don't really have a choice. We have to do things. We have to take care of our children and our families and our homes. And then we have, our jobs that we have to do, whether you work outside of the house or maybe you work from home, or maybe you are simply, not simply, but you are raising your children and you are holding everything down at home, which is a double to triple full-time job, with everything that goes along with that. And so we all have different situations, and we all have different types of stress and stressors and different factors that influence our life, okay? But the important thing is that you don't let the cart get ahead of the horse. And it's going to happen. Life isn't perfect. But what you really want to strive to do is to just try to consider yourself just a little bit more than maybe you currently are. I have always been one to just totally neglect myself. And then that had a lot to do with me, with my thyroid going downhill and my health, my overall health going downhill, because I let everything else run me. I was like a machine. I was not a human. I didn't feel human. I didn't feel like I was in the flesh at all. And when you start feeling that way, you're obviously not going to be happy. So, it takes a while to break some of this stuff, but it's really just it's a matter of baby steps, and it's a matter of being aware of it first and then taking these little measures to get out of that vicious cycle. And that also kind of goes along with a few other posts that I had, which I talked about supplements this week. I posted a picture of my vitamins, and I basically said that one of the most underestimated things in regard to women's health especially is the vitamins and the minerals and the supplements that we need for our overall health and for our energy. A lot of us are very tired because we're low in different things. We're low in B12, we're low in vitamin D, we're low in, you might even be low in iron or potassium. You might be getting bad headaches or migraines because you're low in magnesium. And, there's even a lot of us who don't get enough protein in our diet. And protein is very important for a lot of different functions, especially for building hormones and maintaining energy and even helping your body to get rid of waste. So pregnancy and birth, for moms especially, those things cause us to be in a recovery state for years. Okay, it can take years for your body to build back up again. And that's not really something that's widespread, that is well known. People just think you're supposed to just bounce back like in a couple months. Okay, you're fine, you're normal. And then, we see the postpartum anxiety and depression develop, which I'm going to be talking about later on at some point. I would like to write about that. But, these things are all connected to our nourishment and to the fact that our bodies get wiped out. Okay. Now, if you're not a mom, if you don't have kids, as a woman who may be working, you have a very highly involved career, maybe you take care of someone else or you take care of animals, whatever your situation may be. If you're finding that you're very tired and you have no energy, you've got to look at your nutrition first. You've got to look at your vitamins and your minerals and see if there's gaps, okay? A good organic food-based multivitamin, my little squirt's right here. She's in her bouncer. She loves this thing. Thank goodness, because then I can jump on here and do this for a couple minutes, huh? An organic food-based multivitamin is crucial to fill in nutritional gaps. It doesn't hurt to, during the wintertime, take vitamin C for cold and flu prevention or to help yourself get over illness quicker. Vitamin D, a lot of us who live in the northern hemisphere are not getting enough sun, which affects many, many things. So in addition to taking vitamin D, if there is sun coming through your living room or bedroom and you can lay in the sun in the wintertime like your cats or your dogs do it. Medical Medium, he had just put up a post about that. And it's so funny because whenever I was so tired all the time, I would do that when my son took a nap. My oldest child, I would lay in the sun and it just felt so good. I was drawn to that. Well, there was a reason, because I was so low in vitamin D. And so that energy from the sun helped to heal me. Probiotics are very important. We need good bacteria in our bellies. So if you're not really big on fermented foods or foods that contain probiotics, it's wonderful to supplement with that as well. We also need essential fatty acids. So taking an omega-3, if you don't want to do the fish, or if you are, if you're vegan, vegetarian, if you stay away from animal products, you can take a plant-based omega-3, which is made from the red algae that the fish eat. That's where they get the DHA and the essential fatty acids from. So you can do that. All right. So underestimated. It's so underestimated what we need, especially for women, especially if you're a mom. If you're a mom, it's especially. Okay. And then just going back to the self-care thing. Okay. When people think of self-care, I feel like they're thinking they need to go for a massage or go to a spa or like do something fancy at home even. I talk about baths because I love them. I mean, they're fantastic. If you can try to get in the bathtub a few times a week, what a treat to just sit there and relax. It's wonderful. But, maybe you just don't have time to even do that. Well, let me give you a couple of things you can do that are considered self-care, and they're very basic. They're very basic things. First one, don't laugh, but this is the truth. Chew your food. Like, sit down and chew. Don't inhale your food, chew it. Because when you're chewing your food, that is allowing your body to better absorb the nutrients from what you're eating. We're in a rush. We're running around. We're basically swallowing our food. This is bad for digestion. It's bad for assimilation. Your body can't assimilate the good stuff from the food you're eating. So if you have to ask your husband or your oldest child or somebody to please, I need to sit down and eat, okay? Or if you're at work and you're tempted to work through your lunch break and to just snack, I ask you to not do that. I ask you to please take a break from your computer, go sit somewhere else, and chew your food. That is self-care, okay? Another example is like when you are hungry for something, and if you have 10 minutes, make yourself something that's nourishing. So I was craving something sweet the other day. So I took some yogurt and I mixed some hemp powder with it. I threw some pineapple on there that was, it had been frozen, but I thawed it. Little pineapple bits, sliced up a banana, put some granola on there. It's delicious. Bare naked, gluten-free granola. It was like a cashew butter, cacao mixture with some pepitas and Rice Crisps. It's fabulous. Ate that. It was sweet, but yet it had a lot of nutrition. It was satisfying. It had protein. Delish. And that's self-care. Making yourself a healthy snack is self-care. Chewing your food is self-care. So do those things. Start small, okay? Just start small. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh, because I talked about protein. I had mentioned in the post with that bowl that I just described, I'm starting to exercise again. If there's one thing that I've always struggled with, especially since having children, it's exercise. I think a lot of women struggle to make time to do that. I know there's a lot of us that are really good at it. I have friends that are fantastic. They exercise every day. That's just something that I have always put on the back burner, and I've had a hard time in recent years with actually staying consistent. So I'm doing a 20-minute workout on DVD, and I'm going to be sharing more about that because I think it's like the perfect workout if you're having trouble getting back in to an exercise routine. 3 days a week, 20 minutes per day, and you feel the difference. And I've done it before. My husband and I did it, and it really got us back into shape a few years ago whenever I bought it. So I will be talking more about that this week. Valentine's Day is coming up. So in my newsletter, which I'll be working on tomorrow or Tuesday and sending out, which you can sign up for my newsletter at heartspeakhealth.com, I'm going to be discussing some things that revolve around Valentine's Day and putting an interesting twist on them for you. And the last thing that I want to say is that if you live in the Pittsburgh area, at the juice bar that my husband and I just opened recently in East Liberty, we are having a thyroid healing workshop. I'm going to be speaking about my story, the things that I have done to heal, and I'm also going to be clearing up a lot of misconceptions and common questions that I get, and the answers that I give usually surprise people, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of still not really believing some of the things that are, starting to, I guess, be said more about the thyroid, but it's the truth. And so I'm all about the truth, and I'm all about putting light on what's really going on so that I can help other people. Because when I was really sick and my hypothyroidism was in full force, I wish I would have found someone who would have just really laid it out there for me and helped me to understand some things better, and to also clear up some things that are just simply not true. And you're just wasting your time by focusing on them. Okay? So that's on February 27th. That's a Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock at Clean Juice, East Liberty. We'll be having our thyroid workshop. And I shared that event on the HeartSpeak Health Facebook page. And it's also on the Clean Juice East Liberty Facebook page. So I think I've covered everything on my little piece of paper here that I jotted down. But just please make sure that you get in touch with me if you have any questions, or if you have something that you would like me to discuss or answer. I would be happy to do that. So I wish everyone a great weekend, and we're just hanging out. It's Saturday. So, all right, everyone. I will talk to you soon. All right, take care. Bye.